My name is Laylane Chagas. I'm a physiotherapist, and this video I'm going to show you a base for any other exercise you may want to do when you're trying to work on mobility or stretching of your neck, your shoulders, or working with the upper back. So it's very important that when you are trying to stretch that you keep the joints in an optimal position, and most of us, when we have pain, we tend to compensate or just to hike or tense and be in different positions than other than neutral. So if you're doing neck movements, an example would be if you're trying to wave goodbye from a flex position of your wrist. Waving goodbye is not as clear and smooth as if you are waving goodbye from a neutral position. So see the movement here and see the movement there. And the difference is that in this position, the wrist joint is stretched already, whereas in here it's neutral, so the movement is much wider. The same happens for the neck and for the upper back. If you are in a flex position, the joints are already in a stretched position, so trying to move from here will be a lot more awkward than if you are in a neutral position. So it doesn't matter if you can achieve an optimal position, a line ears over shoulder. You may have had that tension for a long time and you can no longer achieve that ear over shoulder position, but trying to bring back towards the neutral as much as possible is already good for when you're doing your exercises. So for the neck, the most common mistake is starting from a faulty position or forward head position and trying to bring the head back by drawing the chin or the shoulder or the jaw. By doing that, you're blocking your neck, you're blocking your jaw muscles, and you're tensing your shoulders. And you're also tensing the muscles in the back of your skull there that attach to your head to your neck. You can also make a mistake by tensing in the other direction. If you're trying to bring yourself in a neutral position, you do that by raising your nose up to the ceiling. I like to call this looking over the neighbor's fence. That's not also desirable because it also brings tension over the upper back. It blocks your upper back and it blocks the base of the skull as well. So those two positions, too much drawing backwards and drawing up your head, will have a counterproductive way of tensing instead of freeing the movement. In order for you to achieve the neutral position plus relaxation to free the movement and gain more range towards your stretching exercise, starting from a faulty or forward head position, it would be just by raise your ears up to the ceiling, and then you may be left with tension in your shoulders that you want to just lose down. So shoulders away from ears, and make sure that you make that evenly so you're not wonky and causing a side bending of your neck. Ears up to the ceiling, or imagine that you have a crown, you want to bring it towards the ceiling, and then shoulders down to the floor, and then you are achieving a more neutral position. And you may overdo by tensing too much. So usually the amount of effort you're going to do is 2% of effort on that growing taller, shoulders down, and 98% of effort on relaxing through an exhale, and that's what we call the chest descent. You're trying to bring the chest down. So the growing taller, 2% of effort, 98% of effort, bring the chest down. And like if you're trying to stretch a rope, and you may feel that when you do the chest down, your neck tries to drag yourself down. So you know you are a little bit of trouble there with tension with those muscles, so you just ought to work a little bit more. Bring your ears up, chest down. And then that can itself be an exercise for neck mobility, even if you're not moving your neck. Because if you are learning to relax in a neutral position because you have been struggling with tension, that's already a good way to work towards initiating normal movement patterns of relaxation. away from tensing, bracing, and cogwheeling that comes alongside with neck pain. You may be one that doesn't struggle much, you don't struggle much with neck pain, but you do with shoulder pain. And usually the faulty movement with the shoulder is that you've been hiking it, or you've been bracing the shoulder blade, trying not to move it, because when you do move, it hurts. So in those cases, it's very common for our clients to come with a raised shoulder or a forward shoulder and create too much tension that ends up blocking the neck area as well. So you would have to focus more on the lowering the shoulder down and that chest down with an exhale, while you just try to keep the neck in a position. And once you gain that, then you can start with your shoulder movement exercises. So both of these exercises, or positioning if you like, growing taller, or axial extension of the neck, or just positioning the shoulder lower and chest down, it's just a preparatory movement or a positioning exercise for you to do the other exercise that you need to do, away from the compensation that was created by pain. Another way to call this is when people create tension shoulder or forward head position because of pain. It's like if you're limping in that zone, you've been just moving towards an abnormal or an unnatural movement pattern that was designed to just accommodate your pain, so you don't move as much in that painful zone. And that, in the end, as a result, creates more tension in the area, so you may end up in a cycle where you have pain, then you tense, and then because of tension you have more pain. So just by doing the growing taller, shoulders down, you're working towards cleaning up that tension or reducing the amount of tension buildup that you had, and then you can work itself. It can work itself towards increased mobility through other exercises you may want to do. For example, range of motion of the neck, or stretching, or just shoulder mobility exercise, or trunk mobility exercises. So either choose as a relaxation exercise or preparatory for positioning for other exercise.